Rocker here. Welcome to today's workout. We are getting into posterior chain training number 4, and we have done 3 other posterior chain series workouts. You can find them all here on the blog. This is our 4th one in the series, and I'm so excited that you're here because posterior chain training, really being specific about it, is so essential for our balance, alignment, posture, and we're going to be talking through a lot of great form cues today and really activating that posterior chain to really help support you as you go through time and really help strengthen you as well. So I recommend having some resistance objects, some weighted objects handy. You might have some water bottles in your house. You may have some actual dumbbells. That's great. An elevated surface will also come in handy today as well. Bring yourself down onto your mat and come back all the way onto your back with your knees bent. And I'm going to ask that you have, if you have the opportunity, be close to your couch or an elevated surface, because I'm going to have you put your feet up on it. If you don't have that, no worries at all. We're going to get started by bringing our arms out to our sides to a 90-degree bend. And from here, let's go ahead and just engage our shoulders back and down towards the mat. Let's just go ahead and suck everything back and down so that you can feel your shoulders touching the floor or the mat. Feel your elbows and wrists touching the floor or mat. Now from here, let's go ahead and activate blueberry spine. You'll notice that you have a natural curve in your lower back. Go ahead and put that big, fat, imaginary blueberry right at the apex of that curve, and then flatten out your back so that it's pressing the blueberry down without totally squashing it. That's going to give you a sensation of bracing your core, and that's exactly what you want to feel. I'm going to invite you to hold on to that as we begin to raise our arms up overhead. Go as far up as you can, almost to straight or straight entirely, before bringing them back down. And as you come up, your goal is to make sure that your elbows, shoulders, and wrists are all continuing to touch the floor as you bring your arms up overhead. Great job. Keep that lower back engaged and pressed down. Why are we doing this? Well, one of the things with a lot of back pulling moves is that if we're over tight or overdeveloped in the front side of our body and our chest muscles, we often can't really get our shoulders back and down into this correct position that we work from. And we also may struggle a little bit with just some imbalances in the front and back side of our body. So actively engaging the back muscles, doing this little activity at the beginning to warm up the back and also train our arms back in that position, really helping get them back. We're also strengthening a little bit of those back muscles here as well. So we're helping bring balance to the back side of the body, stretching out our chest, strengthening our back. One more here. Nice job. Now I'm going to invite you to place your feet up on your elevated surface. And my goal would be that your elevated surface would be no higher really than knee height. So you have a nice 90-degree bend at the knees. If you're not nearby something that's elevated, you can keep your feet on the floor. We'll work on some bridge lifts here. I'm going to do an elevated version of a bridge, but you can certainly do a regular version of a bridge. Let's check back in with our pelvis. Let's make sure that we have an engaged blueberry spine, so we have a nice braced core. Press your heels down into your elevated surface and then lift up, squeezing your glutes. Lower down with control, lift up and squeeze. Lower down, lift up, and squeeze. Really press those heels down, reactivate blueberry spine each time you come back to your base. And that's to really isolate those glute and hamstring muscles. So when you have your core really turned on and isolated, you're isolating the glutes, and you're also helping to stabilize your pelvis so that it doesn't rotate from one side to the other. So that is really important. Now I'm going to invite you, if you're feeling confident here, only if you're feeling confident here and you'd like the additional challenge, go ahead and extend your left leg, re-engage blueberry spine, and lift up for 5 presses with just your right side. So what we're doing here is activating our glutes. And if this is a little bit too much, or you're feeling yourself wobbling a lot, not able to hold yourself stable, stick with both feet down. That's going to just continue to activate the correct muscles. This is just a way to add an additional challenge.
Be mindful of your leg and knee position. If there's any strain or pressure on your knee, try readjusting your foot position. Otherwise, stop and switch to both feet down or both feet on the floor. I'm going to switch to the other side now. Left foot is down, right foot extends, re-engaging that blueberry spine, coming up and squeezing. And you should really feel this, targeting your glutes and hamstrings. Very important posterior chain muscles. They help us with standing, walking, all of the upright movements that we do, plus some of those moves that we're going to get into today, like squats and deadlifts. Woohoo! Gotta have those in our workout. So fun. Last one, and release it down. Now our final activation movement today is going to be a forearm plank. You are welcome to do the forearm plank with your arms and shoulders elevated on the side of your elevated surface, coming into either a kneeling plank or a plank up on your toes, or you can do this all the way down on the mat, which is also fine. And you have a couple of options here. You could have one knee down, both knees down, or you could be up on your toes. From here, your elbows should be stacked just below your shoulders. Your back should be flat. And I'm not arched here, right? So my back could be very arched. Instead, I'm adding a little bit of blueberry spine to my core, even as I am on the facing forward. So gaze is about 6 inches in front of you. You want to have a nice neutral spine. Hold it in, hold it tight for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Don't collapse through your chest. Keep some action in your shoulders. 3, 2, 1. Knees down. Release. Nice job. All right, great activation sequence. Beautiful work. We're going to go ahead and get right into this with some hamstring pull-throughs to really build on what we were doing with the bridge lift. Now the hamstring pull-through really activates the glutes and the hammies, and it also invites you to open up your chest. So you're going to open up that chest, place your hands behind you, back by your seat, maybe just behind your seat. And then you're going to dig your heels down, pulling yourself up to reverse tabletop. Now go ahead and try a couple of these, and if at any time this just feels like too much pressure on your wrists, or that move doesn't feel like a good one for you, you are welcome to come to the side of your box or your elevated surface, brace your lower scapula against it, and work on both feet down hip thrusters, okay? Or you can stay on the mat and do bridge lifts. We're gonna work first on a set of these. So let's go ahead and continue if you've already started, and work on being really smooth. And the way that you're going to really feel this in your hammies is to dig your heels down, to use that strength in the back of your legs to pull yourself up. Now maybe you've done 4 or 5 and you're like, that feels really easy. Go ahead and add some resistance to your hip crease. If you add a little bit of extra resistance there, you will feel this even more, especially in your glutes. So keep those shoulders back, don't let them collapse. You just really opened up your arms and chest using the Cactus Arms, so keep that in mind. And you always have the backup to switch to at any point, which would be to brace your body against the side of an elevated surface. Last 2, hang in there, core's nice and tight and strong. Last 1, woo! Great job. All right, we're gonna come up and work that back. So we're gonna do a set of narrow to wide grip rows. So select either some water bottles or some amount of weight or resistance that gives you a good workout as you're moving through these. Now my goal for this would be that you would go between 8 to 12 reps, but we've got 2 moves to do, so that number may change a little bit. Let's go ahead and bring our shoulders back and down into their sockets. As you're standing, imagine how you felt when you were lying on the floor doing your Cactus Arms. Bring your shoulders back into that position. From here, activate blueberry spine, and then hinge forward to about 45 degrees. We're gonna start with the narrow row. So the elbows are gonna come up close to our ribs, come down. Then I'm gonna turn my palms to face my knees, and I'm gonna come out wide. I'm gonna come in close, then I'm gonna come out wide.
Now each time you do this, allow the muscles between your shoulder blades to do the work for you. You're doing great. Come on, pull and then pull them back. Pull them up tight, lower down with control, pull them back. So strong. Up to your sides, down, and then out to the sides. Great. Now you may, because we're kind of doing a double up here, you may get 5 and 5, and that's perfect. You may get 4 and 4, and that's okay too. My goal would be that you would get, actually, for this double up one, between 5 and 8 with both. That would be really great, because I know you'll get tired more quickly, because we're asking a lot from your muscles. So choose an amount of weighted object that's just right for you. Hold that core in tight. That'll help protect your back. I'm going to do one more both ways. And done. Woo! Felt that. Okay. Now we are going to intentionally do some hip thrusters. And I was preparing you with a single leg elevated bridge. So if you can guess, we're going to move into single leg hip thrusters. But let's go ahead and set ourselves up for that. I'm going to place my back against the side of my elevated surface. Corner's going to be just about the base of my scapula. Planting my feet out far enough so that as I come up, I'm back in that reverse tabletop position with my back elevated. Let's do 3 without any weighted objects at all, just to set ourselves up. Both feet are on the floor. Nice. Now, depending on where you're at, you're going to start out by lifting your left foot up off the floor, straightening out the leg, and not allowing your hips to shift or rotate. You want very controlled pelvis. So press the earth away with your right foot. You may need to walk your foot out a little ways. You want to find your stable base. Once you've found your stable base, optionally you can add an additional piece of resistance into your hip crease. And this is where I'm going to start my count. Great job. You'll feel this really working and activating your glutes and hammies. Very important to work on that counter rotation here, not allowing the hips to rotate, so you're actually asking a lot from your core here, a lot of core stabilization happening. At any point, if this is just not a good fit for you, go ahead and put both feet down. You're still working the same muscles. Stay safe, stay activated. Last 2 for me, and then I'm going to switch sides. So before I use the weight, I'm just going to set myself up to make sure I have the correct distance for my foot, and that feels pretty good. I'm going to add that weighted object to that hip crease, and I'm coming up. Now what I'm saying here is that if I were feeling some strain in the front of my knee, it might be that my foot was a little bit too close to my seat, and I would just actively move it a little farther away to make sure I had just the right alignment there. Keep those hips nice and balanced, nice and smooth and controlled as you move through this. Coming all the way up at the top, really squeezing your glutes. Last 2. Last 1. Rep range again is around 8 to 12 for those single leg hip thrusters. Beautiful work. Okay, we're going to come back through to the hamstring pull-throughs or double leg hip thrusters against the side of your elevated surface. And I'm going to start out this time with the weighted object right there in my hip crease. So I'm going to put it right where I want it to be. Shoulders roll back. I'm going to dig those heels into the floor. Soft bend in the knees. And pull myself up. Squeeze at the top. Lower down with control. Really keeping the chest open. Even pressure distributed across the hands. No need to rush this one. Nice. Come up. Squeeze everything together. Great job. Lift and squeeze. Lift and squeeze. You may be like, oh, I think I could use a heavier amount of resistance. So maybe you want to put 2 weighted objects across your lap. Maybe you just want to put a heavier one there. Or maybe what you have is fine, and maybe you're not using any resistance at all, and that feels like plenty of a challenge. So be where you're at. We all go through different phases of strengthening. It's super important to really respect your body and just know about all the different options that you have. Woo!
gonna do 2 more. Last one. Great work.
Okay, coming back up to work that back. Here we go. Stand back up. Engage blueberry spine. Bring your shoulders back and down into their sockets, keeping that chest nice and open. From here, we hinge forward to 45 degrees. Elbows come up, narrow grip row. Come down, palms face, and we do a wide grip row. Nice. So you're targeting some of your rear delts, your rhomboids and traps. You're getting lots of different muscles to activate here with this particular movement series. Nice and smooth control. Don't lose that core alignment focus. Really important to strengthen these back muscles in combination with all of your push-ups and chest muscle movements. Great job. Back and up. Your goal would be 5 to 8 total. So you've got each way. So that would be 10 or 16 total, I guess would be the way to say that. 5 and 5 of each one, or 8 and 8 of each one. You got this. However you want to think about it. Sometimes I play number games with myself when I'm training. Help me focus and get through my reps. Last one for me on both sides, both directions. And done. Woo! Great job. Okay, round 2, single leg hip thrusts. Set yourself back up against your elevated surface. Bring your body back against something that's supportive. Have your weighted object close by. Balance yourself so your scapular bones, the lower edge of your scapula, are against the side of your surface. I'm going to go ahead and just do a couple just to make sure my knees are in the right position. And then I'm going to go ahead and switch that weighted object right over to the right side. Extend the left. Working on counter rotation here so that my hip is not dropping down on the left side. My hip position is the same position as it would be in if I had both feet on the floor. So there's a lot of core stability and strength that comes into play as you do this. Imagine you are pressing your mat through your floor as you're doing this. Really press the ground away from you. 8 to 12 reps here is your rep range goal. You got this. Come on. Lift and press. I've got 1 to go. Feeling that end feel. Whew. And I'm going to switch. Left foot is down. Right foot is extending. Hips are square. Drop it down and press it up. Drop it down. Press up. Great work. Count to yourself. See if you can hit the same amount of reps on both legs. That's always the goal. Really press your mat down through the floor. Great job. It's not so much about lifting your hips as it is about the press down. And that's what's going to really target your glutes and your hammies. Beautiful work. Come on. Last one for me. Woo! Feeling it. And done. Oh my gosh. Okay. Going to move through our final set with our hamstring pull-throughs. So I'm going to start right out with my weighted object in my hip crease. Hands behind, shoulders back, chest open. Option to hold yourself up on your elevated surface. Dig your heels down, tight and strong into the mat, and pull yourself up. Squeeze your glutes, coming into reverse tabletop. Great job. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Awesome work. You've got this. Come on. Keep breathing. Up and down. Up and down. Feel those muscles really working, serving you. It's okay to hold soft fists with your hands if that helps align your wrists. Just keep that chest nice and open. Last 2. Last 1. Great work. All right, come back to your feet. Last set of narrow to wide grip rows. Here we go. Engaging that blueberry spine. Shoulders come back.
into their sockets like they did in Cactus Arms at the beginning. We're gonna hinge forward to 45 degrees. Palms face each other. We're gonna draw our elbows up to the sides, squeezing those shoulder blades together, bring them down, palms face our knees, and then we draw the elbows up and out. Repeat. Beautiful work. Hold your core nice and braced so that you get that lower back protection and stabilization. Maybe check in. Is there more weight distributed on one foot than the other? Pay attention to how your feet are aligning when you're just standing casually like this. And just turn on your core, find balance. Back pull, narrow row. I've got 2 to go. And up, and back, last one. And all the way up. Awesome work. Last set of single leg hip thrusts. Whew. Set yourself up against the side of your elevated surface again. You're doing amazing. You're gonna feel this today in those glutes, hamstrings. You may not feel it today, you'll feel it probably tomorrow. So I highly recommend that you do Coach Nikki's yoga flow at some point, or some kind of stretching for the back sides of your legs to really get yourself loosened up after all of this. Let's go ahead and bring our body back to our hip thrust position. Got my weighted object in my hip crease. I'm gonna just do a couple testers with both feet down, make sure I'm in position. And again, straightening out the left leg, pressing the earth away from me with my right foot. Really nice work. Great job. So strong. Hang in there. Keep breathing. This is the last set. We're really gonna squeeze those last few reps out. Really get everything that we came for today. So good. Last 3, 2, and 1. You may have a couple more reps than me. Feel free to take them. Don't let me slow you down. You can do it. And I'm switching sides. Dropping it down, pressing it through. Right, I love that idea of pressing the mat through the floor because it keeps all of my attention on my foot that's pressing down. Great work. Keep your core engaged. Really focus. So strong. Amazing job. Last 3 for me. Feel free to stop before me or go past me. 2. Last 1. And done. Oh, so good. That was really intense. Awesome work. Okay, I'm gonna finish this with our favorite, burpees. We're gonna do a minute of burpees, and I've got my timer right here. So while you're catching your breath from that last set, let's just go over some options for the burpee. So you can squat down, keeping the weight in your heels, place your hands against the side of an elevated surface, step or jump back. Option to add the push-up, step or jump forward, power up into a body squat. You could turn that into a cardio version as well. And you could say, by the same token, you could do the low impact version on the floor, depending on where you're at, all right? So at any point, you can slow it down, speed it up. I'm gonna start our timer right now. Let's go. 1 minute of your choice of burpee. Up, down, tall plank, and up. Make these count. We're not here for very long. This is just a little finisher to pull it all together, to use your body actively, all different ways. When you're coming into those planks, I want you to keep your core nice and stable. Remember blueberry spine. As you come down into your plank, make sure your hands are stacked below your shoulders. Before you come to jump or stand, load the weight in your heels. Engage your belly button, in and up. Keep your core activated. You've got 15 seconds to go. You're so strong. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh my gosh.
Amazing job, Rockstar. I am super proud of you. Thank you so much for rocking that super circuit with me today. Posterior Chain 4. If you haven't done the other videos in the Posterior Chain series, check them out. They're all here and available to you on the blog. There's also a phenomenal additional Posterior Chain series available inside of Rock Your Life, along with tons, hundreds of other classes and workouts that you can do from your own home. Some using equipment, some using no equipment, appropriate for all fitness levels. If you are watching this video at the end of June, we are about to start a brand new Bikini Body Challenge 2 inside of Rock Your Life. There's a Bikini Body Challenge 1. Now we're doing Bikini Body Challenge 2 if you're interested in joining us. And you could join us at any time. That challenge will be loaded in the members area and available to you to take at any time as a member. So check out Rock Your Life. You can grab a 30-day trial to our incredible program anytime, and I would love to see you in there and welcome you to our fantastic community, support you with workouts, with health tips, helping you live your healthy lifestyle of awesome. Thank you again so much for joining me for today's workout. Enjoy the rest of your day wherever this finds you. Be sure to drop me a comment below the video. Let me know how you're doing today and any questions that you may have. Until next time, Rockstar, I'm Betty Rocker, and you are so awesome and amazing. I'll see you real soon. Bye for now.